Welcome to a video where I complain about another video.
Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut.
Hey guys, it's me, everyone's favorite Roblox YouTuber. I find the general landscape of ASYM games to be interesting. It's a concept that's been regurgitated ad nauseum, always slightly different, yet they all fall under the same idea.
Well, yeah, obviously. It's a genre. Of course, it's going to be very similar each time.
The beginning of this genre starts with a collection of games that aren't technically ASYMs, at least by their own admission. These games hold the general concepts that would be used in the future by newer game developers. Piggy was one of the first, but it's nothing similar to what it would become. Its gameplay is just granny. It's not a typical ASYM. Bear Alpha is closer, but I hate this game and I refuse to talk about it in any meaningful way.
Keep this in mind for later. This will be important.
The first game to truly be an ASYM is Flee the Facility.
Okay, we're skipping the Flee the Facility one because I don't really have anything to say about it.
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
Forsaken is a blight on this platform.
Okay.
And serves as the cause of the current landscape of ASYM games on Roblox. If something is synonymous with the term, it was more than likely inspired by this hog shit. I need to make it clear, I am heavily biased. I hate this game. This video is entirely my own opinion.
If it's entirely your opinion, don't make anything sound objective in this video. Like the title.
The gameplay loop is just Dead by Daylight but worse. Every map has around 5 generators for you to complete, featuring a recreation of the iconic Flow Free app. The issue is, doing it doesn't matter. If you go out of your way to do the objective, it doesn't unlock a win condition.
Each generator in Forsaken takes off 14 seconds on the clock if you do one. 14 times 5 is 70. Which is a minute and 10 seconds. You can take off 70 seconds if you do every generator, which really isn't that hard. It's simple math.
Completing a task on a generator lowers the time of the round by a small amount, give or take a few seconds. And that's fine, I guess. Dead by Daylight still does it better. But it's only fine in concept. In practice, it doesn't do much when the killer adds time back to the round by doing their job and killing everyone.
Which takes around a minute to do unless you're like uber experienced. Time that you can easily take off by doing generators.
The objective technically does something, but within the game, it's utterly pointless. The generators are an illusion of a goal. Forsaken's identity is very disjointed. It's trying to be its own thing, yet relies on old Roblox as the base for everything gameplay-wise. The roster of this game is either based off of old Roblox properties or are my awesome cool OC that everyone loves. Said OCs just happen to have more complicated movesets or are fucking terrible to play against. In the same cast, you have characters like Shedletsky, who has access to a sword with a very small hitbox.
He's a starter character. What did you expect? Him to have the freaking hollow purple ability?
Or Elliot, who has a pizza and a speed boost.
What?
Elliot has some of the best healing in the game. What are you talking about?
But then you have characters like Two-Time.
I'm pretty sure this video came out after the 2-time rework. So, like...
Who has a dagger that can stun from behind, with a shorter cooldown than Shedletsky, and an extra 0.5 seconds of stun.
One costs 500. One is free. Which one do you think should be stronger?
A crouch that lets you become undetectable and turns you transparent for 10 seconds. Which
I mean, they're not that transparent. I mean, you can see them if you have, like, a good eye.
lets you use a dash with your dagger, and a second life.
No way, bro. The survivor named Two-Time has 2 lives?
It lets you set your spawn point at the beginning of the round. To make up for it, they're balanced by having only 80 health.
And they lose half of their health when entering their second life.
Keep in mind, Elliot has the same amount of health and is actively a detriment to both the player and the team they are a part of.
Excuse me?
Designs of certain characters were changed in an attempt to make them more unique or scarier, but in practice look like they were drawn by a 12-year-old on Tumblr. These are supposed to be the same character.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
The Forsaken section took up too much of my time, so we're moving on.
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
Outcome memories would have been here, but I refuse to play it again. I was right, the game is dead and it's never coming back. I am never wrong.
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
What do you even say about Pillar Chase 2? I'm being serious. What do you say about this game?
You can say plenty about it, like it's Pillar Chase. It's Pillar Chase. It's Pillar.
It was the blueprint for a majority of today's asymmetrical horror games, which isn't a good thing. If the base isn't good, what comes after won't be any better.
By just doing better.
Pillar Chase 2 is either absurd bullshit or abysmal dog shit with no in-between. It's heavily killer-sided.
Not really.
The fun of the game comes from being a big, strong monster that can do as it pleases.
Not really.
Ripping people apart for its own enjoyment. But you could also be Valem. Don't to be as blunt as possible, people like Pillar Chase 2 because they get to play as a character they like and have a power trip.
Not really.
That's it. There's no skill required.
Yeah, but guess what? Not really.
If you get into a chase, don't bother trying to loop the killer.
You tried looping the killer on a table that's designed for the killer to walk on. And just some random small rock?
I still don't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. You ran into a wall like a coward, like a loser, and then when you see the killer, you don't run until it's too late, and then you try to run, and then you just run straight back into the killer. Nice job, bro.
I feel like people only like this game for one of two reasons. Either A, an appreciation for it being one of the first. It was the blueprint. Everything that came after can look to this as a source for why it exists. You do have to give it its flowers for doing something most people weren't.
Yeah, sure, I'll give him the buzz.
Or B, they have the funds to guarantee their spy is a killer. I mean, why else would they be redesigning 3 of the killers to avoid copyright?
What?
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
I would do the Doom by Fade section, but I don't know enough about Doom by Fade. And I haven't played it.
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
I have nothing to say about Pwned by 14-0. I'm not joking. This game is boring as fuck. The only reason I have it in the script is so this video shows up when you search for the game.
Fat, bald sandwich, piece of subhuman trash. 2,000 years of constant human evolution.
It's the exact same as everything else, but you can jump. I lied about the definition of retro slop in the previous video. This is retro slop. 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 It doesn't have a unique art style. It's just using old Roblox as a veneer of quality.
It does it pretty well, and it looks pretty neat. I don't see the problem.
There's not even anything negative I can say about the gameplay. There's nothing here. Same abilities, same concept, same shitty hitboxes.
That's not even the game's fault. It's Roblox. The way Roblox works with multiplayer is why the hitboxes are so...
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
Break In and Steal Things is a game with all style and no gameplay. My issue with this game is that there is no game.
Well, there obviously is a game. Or else you wouldn't be watching this video.
Yeah, come get some, you frickin' wuss.
Die of Death is an odd one. The first time I played it, I didn't like it, and thought it was rather awful. Currently, I don't believe that. The game is pretty alright, but only in comparison to everything else. As a base, it's rather dull.
Suggestion. Maybe go help your dying teammate?
There's no objective. There's nothing for you to do to give you the idea of a goal. You run around, find the killer, run away or fight, then die or win. The end. There's nothing else to it.
Actually, there was plenty more to it.
The thing that makes it unique is instead of pre-assigned abilities, the game has a random deck mechanic before every round that gives you 2 random abilities for that match. It makes the game function almost like a roguelike.
Huh?
You don't know how the abilities work until you pick out a kit, so you end up spending the first hour or so trying out new abilities until you find a few you prefer over the rest. And the next time you play, you can look for a specific build instead of randomly guessing.
Terrible advice. That's just not correct. Instead, you should try to at least be okay with every ability, and maybe find a couple abilities you're really good at, so you know when to look out for them when you see them.
I don't believe Die of Death has an identity of its own. In comparison to Biased, if I showed you these two games side by side in the same aspect ratio, would you know that they are two different games by different people?
Yeah.
They're both so retro. They are both asymmetrical horror games with big quotation marks around horror.
If you take games in a genre and cut them down to their least interesting details, obviously they're going to be way more similar to each other.
The only difference is one has an objective to complete and random items around the map, and the other is a roguelike with no purpose.
I would normally put the incorrect buzzer meme, but it's getting old.
This video is very negative. I don't want to be mean, but I have to. I don't like these games. But I wish I did. When I see these games, I see their flaws. I see a bare-bones mock-up designed for profit. They try to be asymmetrical horror games, but fundamentally do not understand what makes the game like this work. There's no real objective. There is no end goal. It's the idea of a game with no substance. These developers are copying off each other's homework and changing nothing. All they have to do is so they're doing stuff free. I guess they're video games will be. Out of everything available, there is only one ASYM that I genuinely like. This game doesn't take itself seriously. This game isn't meant to be good. This game is a joke, and it's been a joke since the beginning. That game is you versus Homer.
Okay, so remember when I said,
Keep this in mind for later, this will be important.
well, a certain game he said he hates is a bit similar to this game. Yeah, Bear Alpha and You vs. Homer are pretty much the same game, but whatever. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. I don't care.